Hey guys, Coach Adam talking to you live today, less than 24 hours from the Pittsburgh Pro. This is going to be a wild, wild show. We have some serious, serious talent going into tomorrow's Pittsburgh Pro. What are your predictions for the Pittsburgh Pro? Put it in the comments. Is yours going to be different than my top six? So we're going to do a prize for top six. Okay, so if you get the top six right in the correct order, I'm going to send three of you a brand new posing suit. Okay, so brand new. Actually, let's do this. Two of you, brand new posing suit. The first one to get it right, a brand new show suit. How's that? So put it in the comments, your top six. It has to be before the show's over, of course, before judging occurs. So is yours what mine is? But let's go ahead and check out that list. It is going to be a crazy, crazy show. I am super shocked at the talent level of this show. Originally, when this show was coming out, we were hearing, oh, there's only a few girls in the show. There's only a few girls in the show. There's only a couple people we knew that were going to do the show. And then the list came out and it was like, bang, it is a heavy, heavy hitter show. So what am I talking about? Let's take a look at this show. Man, what a show. So highlighted here is the Pittsburgh Pro list. And I do like this year that they're not letting anyone jump in last minute because this is it. This is the list, so we can do these things. So we have Maya Stabi, Vanya August, who actually just won the Arnold UK. So she's got some momentum there. She did very well at the Arnold Ohio as well. We have Yulia Baba, who's an Olympian from last year. Vanya is an Olympian. She got 12th place last year. Ariana Brothers, who had got 7th place. Amy Delgado, of course, who won it last year and got 2nd place at the Arnold and is also 6th place at the Olympia. Valeria, who qualified for the Olympia last year, didn't go to the Olympia, but qualified for the Olympia last year, bringing a new look. Brittany Gillespie, who's qualified for the Olympia, just won a show. Brittany Hamilton, who's a former Olympian. Ashley Cotwasser, the greatest of all time. Of course, I'm a little biased, but that's a fact. I don't need to back that up. She is the GOAT. She is the Roach. India Paulino coming back. We haven't seen her in a while. A former Olympian, former top Olympian. And Allison Testu, who was a former Olympian as well, doing really good this year. I mean, what the heck, man? How is this a show, right? It's like this show alone is basically like a junior Olympia caliber show. It is crazy, crazy good. I didn't highlight here or mention, but also you have Vanessa Guzman, who's really good. Tara Gray actually didn't highlight. I should have highlighted Tara as well. Another awesome competitor there. And Alessia Facine, who's a former Olympian too. So, I mean, what is this show? 50% Olympians, something like that, something crazy like that. Crazy, crazy show. So I'm going to go into who I think my top six are. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. We shall see. It's bikini. It could be anyone's day. The person I have in first can easily be fourth. The person I have in second could be 10th. It could be first, so that is bikini. So let's go ahead. Who do I think? And this is going to be an interesting one. And I think a little bit controversial too, because there's I think a lot of you are going to guess me wrong on this one. And I think you might have some different guesses. Oh, and I got someone in the comments here saying Reina is Olympian too. Thank you for correcting me on that too. So another Olympian. Gosh, is it like 60% Olympians in this show? This is crazy. All right, so let's take a look at who I think is going to be in 6th place. It is 6th place. I think it's going to be Valeria. Now, why do I think Valeria is going to be in 6th place, and why might I be wrong on this? Well, couple things. All right, so I have two different pictures here up of Valeria, and I will say we've been wanting to see a different Valeria for a long time now. I've been wanting to see her a little fuller, a little softer for a couple years. I've known every time I see her, I think, man, her lines are so beautiful. Her muscle looks so beautiful. She's got great density. But the thing is, she's always way too tight in the legs, way too conditioned in the legs. She's always got striated quads, striated hamstrings. She's got separation on her hamstrings, and just too much detail. But it's only on her lower body. Her upper body usually looks good. So I was always wondering, okay, is Valeria a kind of a that's just as good as she's going to get type of thing, or is Valeria does she have an upper body to lower body fat distribution issue? Or can she actually bring a softer conditioning and still look just as good upper body? Will she not blur her lines if she makes her legs the conditioning they need to be? So here's the thing with Valeria. This is a different look that she's bringing. Now, obviously, this isn't her final look. She's going to be, but this is a recent photo of how she's looking. Now, look at her legs on the picture where she's at a show. Look at the detail, the striations, and look at how much fuller she is now. And really fuller meaning just, a little bit more body fat. She really didn't need that much more muscle. And again, this is the difference too. If you have just a little bit more body fat, you look way bigger in muscle. So now, does she look too big? Is her fullness, does it not help her? Does it blur her lines? Do the judges not like her fuller? Here's the thing about bikini, which we've learned in the past, is that when you change something up on an athlete, you generally want to change it up just a little bit. And it's a little bit each time, and you inch away at it. When you bring a totally different look to a show, it's always a big risk. You always are taking a huge risk for that athlete. But I think Valeria needs that risk. I think she absolutely needs that risk, because what she was doing in the American market, bringing that tight conditioning over and over and over again, wasn't working. I don't know if she's actually won a show in the American market, but she dominates in the European market, where sometimes you can get away with being a little bit leaner because the talent level isn't there. So she goes to the European market. She dominates with competition that's out of the top 15 of the Olympia. She dominates. She comes here. She can't win even regular shows, right? Even regular shows where there might be one Olympian who's not a top 15 person, because her conditioning is too tight. The judges that are over here are on point. They say, hey, you're strided in your quads. You're strided in your hamstrings. It's too much. We don't want to see all the detail. You got beautiful shape, beautiful lines. And every judge after a show, when they talk about Valeria, they're like, that girl's so good. She is so good. Her lines are so good. I'm like, I know. I've been seeing her forever. And I'm like, gosh, she's so good. Her lines are so good. She looks like a fitness model, like a supermodel. And all she needed to do was just fill out her legs a little bit. So is this the look that propels Valeria up? Or do they say, it's too much of a difference? We want to see her in the middle of these two things. So it's gonna be a tricky one, but she's kind of my secret sniper in there. And I think that she could get a top 6. If they like her the way she is, her lines are so good. If they like her a little softer like this, she could be as high as top 4. She's actually really, really good in terms of her structure, her beauty, her flow, her muscle density. It's just a matter of the right conditioning level. And I don't think she's brought it before. I think that her conditioning level has always been just a little bit too much. And I do think that hurts her quite a bit. And in the American market, it has hurt her. So I do think there's going to be a toss-up between her and the next competitor, but there also could be one more toss-up. I'm going to throw it out there. I don't have a picture of her on this list because I want to stick to my top 6. That's who I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Valeria in 6, but hey, that's definitely a curveball. That one could be as high as 4th, as low as like 15th in this one, right? It's just, do they like her that way? I like her better this way. I don't know if it solves the problem entirely, because I'm only seeing check-in pictures, and how check-in pictures go. Right lighting, right scenario, looking at pictures out of, you're looking at 20 pictures that you took and you pick the best one. That's just how it is. Everyone does that. I do that too. So, so who do I have in 5th place here? In 5th place, I have Britney Gillespie, right? That is a little bit of a stretch from earlier things that I've said earlier this year. Now, if she can correct her posing and not show so much glute in that front profile where it dominates her physique, I think she's got a really good shot at 5th place here. She's always had that crazy X factor to her, right? It's always that she has that pop. She's got, just really, really good lines. It's a very powerful physique. Okay. It's not going to be what you call like that bikini, that like smaller bikini petite physique. It is going to be a powerful physique, very strong, very striking, high muscle density. Proportions aren't 100% balanced, but she's got that wow factor to her glutes, because her glutes are crazy, right? Crazy, crazy glutes. She's got an X frame up top. Her shoulders are really wide. So she has all these things that border on, okay, is it too much or is that just awesome? Right. And that's the thing, is some judges are going to be like, that's awesome. The bodybuilding judges, the judges who are judging Wasatch, who picked the most muscular girls in the show, are going to look at her and be like, right on. We like that muscle, right? That's who the ones that had like Britney Hamilton that was the biggest first call out we saw this year. Right. But will they like this? Will they say it's too much or too little when you get to those higher level, those Olympia judges, right? Or is that who's going to pick? What are they going to go for? Now, I think if Britney can just correct that front pose and pull her glutes back just a little bit in that front pose, it's going to be really, really helpful to her. And if not, if they decide to go with the muscle, you have to look at her versus Allison Testu, who could also be in battle with her for 6th place as well. It could be a battle and knock Valeria out, and Allison Testu, who has a very similar physique to Britney, at least in that glute front profile shot, because that both of them in that front glute profile have a very dominant front glute, right? In that front glute profile, it's very, very round, almost like a 2-to-1 ratio of glutes to quads. So if both of them are, if they like that, I could see them battling it out for fifth there. And if in worst case scenario, I see Allison in that seventh place, but she might be moving up just depending. She's been doing really good at these shows lately. But Britney just has that X factor to her. So we'll see if she makes those small changes to her posing. But I do think that she's got a real good chance. She could even get as high as fourth. She's got really, really good density. She does have that wow factor. And it's just a matter of, okay, do the other judges think that's too much? Is the balance off by too much? Or can she correct that posing enough where she doesn't show it so much in that profile, front profile, which I do think does, I think it hurts her a little bit. That front glute profile shot is very obvious to a trained eye that the balance is not there. But from the back, it doesn't look that way. From the back, it actually looks great. It's some of the best glutes in the IFBB. So it's just a matter of, is she going to make those corrections? What is she going to bring? She's never off on her conditioning. She always nails her conditioning. That's never the issue. It just comes down to how much is too much, and is it too much for bikini right now? Now, going into my next placing, fourth placing, which I don't think is going to be controversial at all. I think a lot of people will believe that this is going to be the fourth placing. I have Vanya. Vanya's been doing really good this year. She won the Arnold UK. Not too much to be said about Vanya. Now, it just comes down to her density and her muscle density. Is it too much? You know, sometimes her muscles do striate in that front pose. The back pose is usually fine for her. I'm not seeing a lot of hamstring separation detail. I'm not seeing glute striations. I'm seeing a great structure. You know, I would like to see a little bit better of an hourglass on Vanya from the back. But from the front, her quads do striate. They do look very dense. They do have the separation and detail. When she walks, you could see the striation and the flickering of the muscles a little bit too much, in my opinion. Sometimes her arms look a little bit heavy for bikini in terms of, like, you know, the muscle being just a little bit too much. But all in all, it's a solid physique. I think that she's got a real shot at fourth place here. You know, again, she has a physique that now this year she's had a really, really great showing at shows, but in terms of beating high level competition, she hasn't beat the high level of competition yet. She has passed people that beat her before at the Olympia, though. So that's a hats off to her. She's making improvements. So it's a matter of now when she gets next to the Ashleys, the Amy's, the Arianas, how is she going to do next to them? And I think because the detail and because the hourglass the detail's a little bit too much in that front pose, and because that hourglass isn't what I think it should be at that very, very high level, it's going to be a little obvious, and she's going to be the highest place she's going to get is fourth place. I hope I'm wrong on that, though, because I really like Vanya. Now, going into who I have as third place, and this one is going to be hard. From here on out, I think all of these girls are going to be kind of 50-50 from here on out on this show. It's going to be tough because they're all so different, and there's arguments for all of them. And that's where it becomes really tough when you're judging like an Olympia caliber show, is like they're all different. You know, it's bikini. That's the thing about bikini that's awesome, is that the structures are so different, but they all have their argument. You know, you have look at Britney, Laura Lee, and Ashley, right? And look at Jennifer Dory on top of that. How are those structures the same at all, right? How are they all top competitors with completely different looks? Ashley's a little bit more athletic, comes in a little bit leaner. Jennifer comes in the softest, probably out of everyone in the top 15 at the Olympia. I think she's the absolute softest, but she wins the Olympia. Maureen, never shredded, but has very pretty flow, right? Great muscle insertions. Laura Lee, powerful in the glutes, powerful in the shoulders, right? So like taller, like these, they're all different, right? And that's the thing about bikini. You know, you get Britney next to Ariana, next to an Ashley, next to an Amy. It's like, who do you like? It's apples and oranges at this point, right? So we know what good is. We know what the definition of bikini is, but what do you prefer, the apple or the orange today? And that's where the next ones come in. So in third place, I have here Ariana. Ariana's a curveball though too. Here's the thing about Ariana. One, I think that she's very safe in getting third place or higher. She brings a very similar level of conditioning to every show. Her flow is really, really good. Her glutes are crazy good. I mean, she has the full tie-in without an etched tie-in. She has full round glutes. I do think the last time I saw her, which was not too long ago, but it was months ago, her density still needed more improvement. She still just needed that density. You could see it in the back walk, just needs more and more density. Is it there now, right? Is it there to compete against someone like an Ashley or an Amy? Ashley this year has even a little bit more density than she did years prior. Not bigger, but more dense. In that back walk, you can really see that density is more there. Ariana, did she do the same thing? She had about the same time away from the stage as Ashley, right? So is it the same? Did she make those improvements in density? I don't know. Now, here's the thing. When you get to the next three, and I don't think the next three are any surprise, you guys probably know, I have, Ariana, Amy, and Ashley in the next three, right? How do you pick between the three of them, right? Here's the thing. Some judges, and a good amount of the judges, are going to think that Amy's too muscular. A lot of times the judges are like, she's the best to pick from today, but she is kind of in between bikini and figure. You call her bikigure. She's a little bit muscular, and a lot of judges see that. It's not that they don't see it, it's that there's no one else to pick, or someone might be off a little bit that day. She has a lot of muscle, a lot of density, right? So she's gotten better at it, but it is a lot of muscle. So when you get Ariana and you get her next to Amy, right? Who, if you just go based on the definition of bikini, right? Don't worry about who's impressive, who's the most impressive physique, because out of everyone on that stage, the most impressive physique is probably going to be like Britney, right? The most muscular, most jacked, most dense out of all of them on that stage is probably going to be Britney. So if we just throw out, okay, I'm not picking the most impressive physique, the most muscular, leanest, hardest, fullest, most detailed, because that's not what bikini is. If I just look at the criteria of bikini, can't have deep striations. I can't have striated muscles. They don't want that level of conditioning on the legs, the quads. They want muscle, but not overly powerful muscle. Nothing that's overly muscular, right? We don't want an X frame. We want an hourglass frame. We want that pretty flow. We want arms that aren't too big. We want shoulders with slight capping. Remember, that's part of the definition. Slight capping, not capping, right? Not cap shoulders. We want tie-ins that are not etched tie-ins. We want to see the tie-ins. We don't want etched tie-ins. We don't want separation of the hamstrings. We don't want separation of the quads, right? If we go into what bikini actually is, an hourglass shape, a tapered waistline, Ariana beats Amy. Sorry to say that, guys, but she does. If you look at the definition of bikini, Ariana beats Amy 7 days a week. That's just the truth of it, right? Because she's more bikini. Amy is more impressive than her. Absolutely. Amy's probably the second most impressive physique on that stage. Maybe Britney Gillespie too. Impressiveness, right? Because that wow factor of the glutes. But when we talk about, you got to throw those things out of here, because this is bikini. This isn't bodybuilding, right? And that's what you have to know. And that's what the judges have to take into account too. Am I going to get mesmerized by the muscle at this show? Am I just going to pick the most muscular girl again and again and again until it doesn't even look like bikini anymore and just pick muscle girls? Or am I going to stick to the criteria, right? So when you look at the criteria, Ariana does actually beat Amy, right? She at this show, I don't know if she's going to have enough density to do that, because again, we got to go with who we have to go with what's in front of us, and is she ready yet or not to do that? I think it's possible that she's ready to make that pass. I don't know, right? I don't know if that's the case. If I was a judge, that's probably how I would judge it. But if I was a judge, I probably wouldn't be judging Amy as high as she's been judged, because I stick really strictly to the criteria. So now, is Amy super impressive? And is it likely she could even win? Definitely. She's probably 50-50 to win this contest. But I also think she's 50-50 to get third place next to Ariana. And Ariana's 50-50 to move up in the rankings. Crazy, right? So definitely going to be controversial on that one. But remember, I'm sticking to the criteria as bikini, as it's listed, as I'm told it is judged. As I'm told it's judged by Tyler, who put out the criteria, who said, this is what we're looking for in bikini. And if you look at what they're looking for in bikini, Ariana fits that better. She fits it a little bit better, right? And who's going to argue with me on that if we're sticking to the criteria? Take impressiveness out of it, right? If we just pick impressive physiques, Brittany Hamilton wins, Brittany Gillespie gets second, Amy gets third. Just impressiveness. If we pick bikini physiques, though, it changes everything up. It changes completely everything up, right? And we have to have that conversation. And that's just the reality. So what are they going to do at this show? There's an opportunity there, and we'll see what they do. Are they going to get surprised, mesmerized by the muscle again? Is it going to be a different first call out than I think? Because mine's going based off the momentum of everyone, how they've been doing, how they've been placing. But if I was sticking strictly to bikini criteria, it would be different. It would be a different top five for me. But I'm sticking to what I think is going to happen based on what's happened in history. So that being said, am I being controversial? I don't mean to, but I'm talking about what I think should happen and what is going to be likely to happen. I'm trying to merge the two together here. Now, in second place, no surprises here. I do think Amy's going to be in second place based on momentum. But again, there's a strong argument for Ariana if she brings 100% and a little bit more dense package to pass Amy at this show. It's going to be a really risky show for Amy to do this, because remember, you have third place Ashley at the Olympia versus sixth place Amy at the Olympia versus seventh place Ariana. Ariana's only one. She was close already. She was right there. Right now they're being compared next to each other. And if they stick to the bikini criteria, yeah, there's an argument for it, right? So now looking at Amy, there's not a whole lot we haven't gone over this year with Amy. Amy looks awesome, very impressive physique, but it is a little bit past bikini. Look at the detail on her quads. Look at that deep striation. Look at that. Look at that density of her legs. It's very impressive. She even has vertical separation in her hamstrings, right? So that vertical separation in her hamstrings and that back post. So it is an amazing physique. Definitely don't want to take it away from it. Still, I actually really love her physique. But for bikini, yeah, it does push it a little bit too far, just a little bit, right? It's right past it, right in that bikini figure slash, people say she's junior wellness and stuff. And I'm like, she's not, she's pretty far away from junior wellness, but bikini figure, yeah, figure with glutes. I could see it, that type of thing. So I have her as second place, but remember, she won this show last year. She could win it again very easily. I don't see that being an issue at all. I think that it's possible that she could win this show. And in first place, I think no surprise here at this point, we have Ashley Cotwell. Now it's hard to do these things and not be biased. People ask me, would you put Ashley in second if you really thought she was going to be in second? And my answer to that is yes. And I did it at the Olympia last year too. I thought I did it at the Olympia review. So I try to do this as unbiased as possible. It sucks being one of my clients in these things and trying to be unbiased. But let's just go off of history. Ashley beats Amy more times than Amy beats Ashley. That's the facts of it. But Ashley's also improved this year from last year. She has more density to her glutes. She doesn't have more size to her glutes, but she has more density to her glutes. Everyone that's been seeing her this year has been saying, man, her density and her fullness looks awesome right now. They saw her in Japan and they're like, whoa, that's the look right there. That's what we need. Ashley's bringing it again. She's on point. I've waited a little bit to do this video. I wish I was in Pittsburgh, but I'm not. She, that was the problem is we were going to wait to see if she was 100% ready to do this show or not. And we decided, maybe 14 days, something like that before the show that she was going to do it. I already had people flying in here because of that. And so I'm not at Pittsburgh. I wish I was there, but she's improved and she's ready. She wouldn't be doing this show if she wasn't ready. And that's the thing I think everyone needs to take into account. It wasn't a show where she's like, hey, I'm trying to be a legend. I'm trying to get to 50 pro wins, be the first ever to do that and kind of cement my legacy at 50 pro wins. And so she's going to take some risks at maybe other shows. This is not one of those shows. This is not a show you do that at. She said, okay, I'm ready. I'm 100%. We did our check-in. She's like, do you think I could do it? I said, I think you're ready. I think you could do this show. And that was it. So she's in there. So she's in there, not trying to sneak in an easy win. That's for sure. This is going to be a hard, challenging win. She could be as high as first. I think that it's likely that she's first. I think the smart money would be on Ashley for this show based on history, based on how she's looking right now, and based on the frequency of how many times she's beaten these competitors she's going up against. And that she's a little bit better. And the judges like that she's a little bit better this year too. So I think that it's very likely. Again, I try not to be biased on these things. I would tell the truth. Ashley herself, she said, I probably won't I won't watch your review because it will, if you have me in second, it'll mess with my head or something. So, but she's like, but I want you to be honest. She's like, be brutally honest. I don't want you to ever be biased towards me or hype me up or fluff talk because that's not the type of person I am. And I was like, all right, I'll always do that. But in this scenario, I don't think many would argue me on that. Now, can it be her day? Can she wake up, and be bloated? Can she wake up and be off? Can she stumble in her posing routine and make mistakes and not win? Yeah. It's not like there's anyone in bikini that's that dominant. Remember, she was off being Miss Olympia by 2 points just the other year, right? So it could have been her day then too, right? It's just all these little things in bikini matter. Are the judges going to be going for the most powerful, the most dominant physique, right? Be a totally different first call out if they did. You'd see Britney in there, both Britneys in there. Obviously Amy would be in there no matter what. You'd see different physiques in that, Allison in there too, with those really powerful physiques. Are they going to stick to the bikini criteria as it's listed, pick the best bikini athletes they have? What are they going to go with, right? It could be a total mix up. It could be a reset. They could say, hey, this is what we're sticking to. You girls are getting too big. You're getting too muscular. This is not what we want for bikini. It hurts the market. Remember, at the end of this, it is a business, right? It's a business of this sport. Every sport is. Does it hurt the business if they keep going bigger and bigger and bigger and more muscular? Yeah, because less people can do it if they do that, right? So sticking to the criteria, sometimes they'll do a reset. Sometimes they say, hey, this is it. You guys are getting too big. Got to stop, right? It happens every once in a while. And this is definitely a show where that opportunity is there. We shall see what happens. So that's what I got. A lot of talk in there for that one. Hopefully you guys like this video. I'm super excited about it. I'll do a recap on this one too. Did I get it right? Put it in the comments, your top 6. Again, if you get so we're going to pick 3 people, right? We're going to pick 2 of them are going to get, if you got to get it right, top 6, 2 of them are going to get a posing suit. 1 of them is going to get a full show suit. I'm going to pay for it. You guys got to get it. Now, don't just put it in the comments, put it in the comments. And then if you get it, let me know. Cause we have like so many comments last time. 2 of you got it right at one of these shows. I forget which one it was. I messaged you and no one ever got back to me in the comments. So keep me accountable. Make sure I get those suits out. I will do it. I just need to know who you are. Anyway, teamelitephysique.com for worldwide online contest prep coaching with me. I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much.